I am not capable of casual hookups anymore, you guys. Clearly, I hadn't hooked up with anyone for 4 months, which is like the longest it's been probably since I've been sexually active. Yeah, and I gave in and I let my guard down, and holy fuck, sex is really sacred. I'm a little bit mad at myself that I shared it so willy-nilly. Holy fuck, I did not realize how much I have been craving a really deep love. I'm a sensitive girl, you guys, holy shit. But now I know. Hookups are not for me. I used to be able, like a year ago, if you asked me all the names of people I hooked up with, I couldn't tell you. But yeah, wow, sex is sacred.
Should have thought of that earlier.
She belongs to the street.
I don't know if anybody can relate to this, but that feeling when you feel like you're alone, and it can't get any lonelier than this, bro. For how severely you screwed my life up.
Single check. If you're single, heart this. Comment where you're from.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you
We don't care.
Jerry.
Welcome back to my series where I help you romanticize the solo girl life. One thing about me, I used to always hate coming home to an empty space. As I saw all my best friends getting married and being in relationships, coming home to no one but myself always made me feel so lonely. But I have come to realize how much peace comes from being in a space that is solely for myself, and how much of a blessing it is to rely on no one but myself at this time in my life. But most importantly, there is absolutely nothing wrong with being alone.
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething.
Buenos dias, children.
What was that?
Can you spot the difference? 'Cause I know I can. The woman in the first clip is Rachel Gunn, but judging how this whole spectacle took the internet by the horns and wrestled it to the ground for more than 72 hours, it's a fair bet that you know this already. From a man guide perspective, this breakdancing episode is a bit deeper than how objectively awful the performance was, even though that's worth talking about as well. The real soft underbelly here, that few have been discussing, is that this is what happens when you bring out a random chick that hits the wall, pump up her ego like the Hindenburg, and then watch what happens when you set it alight, while also like the Hindenburg. Recently, this apparent Olympian, which is crazy to even say, but it happened, has been under a lot of fire for her performance. So now that the dust has settled a bit, let's see what the aftermath has been in a story called Ray Gunn Breaks Silence Over Olympic Breakdancing Backlash. Please stop. Ah, yes, this is gonna work out great for you. Embattled Olympian Rachel Raygun Gunn spoke out for the first time Thursday as the backlash from her breaking Paris Games performance intensifies.
What did you think's gonna happen?
Appearing in an Instagram video, the Australian, who went viral last week during the Olympics' inaugural breakdancing competition, where she lost all 3 of her matches 18-0, said she didn't realize what unfolded in Paris would also open the door to so much hate, which she called pretty devastating.
You did this to yourself.
Hi everyone, Raygun here. I just want to start by thanking all the people who have supported me. I really appreciate the positivity and I'm glad I was able to bring some joy into your lives. That's what I hoped. The 36-year-old gun began. I didn't realize that would also open the door to so much hate, which has frankly been pretty devastating. While I went out there and I had fun, I did take it very seriously. I worked my butt off preparing for the Olympics and I gave it my all, truly. I'm honored to have been a part of the Australian Olympic team and to be a part of breaking's Olympic debut. What the other athletes have achieved has just been phenomenal. And here we have a classic diversion. See, from where I'm sitting, modern women, especially when they've done something offensive to a mainstream audience, which is fair in this case because it blinded me, always point to other groups of people when the heat starts rising. For lonely fans, it's always the whole my body, my choice gambit where they talk about anecdotal examples from the Salem witch trials or something equally dumb. For single moms, they point to the propagandistic image of a drunk guy in a dirty tank, tiptoeing out the door for milk. And for Raygun, she tries the old, look at all the people that did the job correctly, let's just ignore my mishap and focus on them. But the thing is, Rachel, you went out there for the limelight. You wanted, and you believed that going out there and doing the kangaroo hop would somehow make you and others forget you should have been nowhere near the French River of turds. And the consequence is that you are now a meme. As you see, Raygun, if it is any consolation, which it really isn't, you're not the only middle-aged lady jumping in front of a camera with delusions of grandeur. One of the main questions that's been circulating the web is if this performance is all that Australia had to offer. Well, it's not like Australia is a wellspring of virile talent. 95% of the land is uninhabitable. But I think we can all say that, with an art scene like Sydney, there were definitely candidates who should have gotten a chance to replace her. So why didn't they? Again, well, if you look at the progressive messaging coming out of the country, the question just sort of answers itself. Before digging deeper, let's just see what Raygun had to say. Gunn then addressed the allegations and misinformation floating around in the wake of her widely criticized performance, including an online petition the Australian Olympic Committee has since denounced.
Oh, shocker.
I'd like to ask everyone to please refer to the recent statement made by the AOC, as well as the posts on the Aus Breaking Instagram page, as well as the WDSF Breaking for Gold page, said Gunn, a breaking researcher at Macquarie University in Sydney.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Well,
Bit of a fun fact for you, there are actually no points in breaking. If you want to see how the judges thought I compared to my opponents, you can actually see the comparison percentages across the 5 criteria on Olympics.com. Yeah, but you did lose, Rachel, and you lost badly. If you haven't already guessed at this point, Raygun is among Australia's feminist leaders. She has a doctorate in cultural studies, constantly speaks out about things unrelated to her life, and spends most of her time teaching the youth of tomorrow to remove masculinity in any way possible. Leading up to the event, that's exactly what she did. She proudly talked about how this career move was to bring women into the world of breakdancing, which is ironic because it already happened, and she often was found gloating about how she was proof that any woman could do what a man can, regardless of their age. Raygun is, by no exaggeration, exactly why we have to see this nonsense every Look, if you haven't seen this wave of denial hitting IG and TikTok, I'm sorry you had to see it. However, this is what we're dealing with here. As I said, Raygun is one of these special feminist double threats. Not only has she contributed to the problem socially and academically, but she also ended up just like these women, a product of denial and wall-hitting insanity that now plagues every corner of virality. The story continues with, Gunn, who is going to enjoy some pre-planned downtime in Europe, then requested the media to please stop harassing her loved ones and the Australian breaking community, among others.
I mean, you asked for it. I mean, you literally asked for it.
Everyone has been through a lot as a result of this, so I ask you to please respect their privacy, she said. I'll be happy to answer more questions on my return to Australia. Gunn, who performed a slew of curious moves at the Olympics and was subsequently mocked on late-night TV, has received support from the AOC amid the online petition that boldly called for a full investigation into the selection process.
Seems reasonable.
It is disgraceful that these falsehoods concocted by an anonymous person can be published in this way, Matt Carroll, the chief executive officer of the AOC, said in a statement. It amounts to bullying and harassment and is defamatory. We are demanding that it be removed from the site immediately. No athlete who has represented their country at the Olympic Games should be treated in this way.
No, not an athlete.
Members of Gunn's family have also spoken out following the controversy, with father-in-law Andrew Free, the dad of Gunn's husband, Samuel, blasting the judges in their assessment of her Olympics routine. It was a pretty stacked competition and the judges were clearly looking for a certain style of breaking which is not Rachel's, Free wrote on Facebook per reports.
Go home before you embarrass yourself, old man.
Although they are supposed to mark 5 different aspects with each having the same weighting, in my obviously biased opinion, they did not reward originality and musicality, so she was up against it. I'm getting deja vu here, and I think I know why. The article here is doing the same thing that the others do when they run and hide, use euphemisms, and quote others like cowards. Allow me to set the record straight. Reagan did not perform a slew of curious moves. The fully grown woman crawled on the ground and hopped around like a kangaroo. The performance was actually so bad that the Olympics will almost certainly never hold a breakdancing competition again. In other words, Rachel, you did just a bad job in that you removed opportunities for the class you bragged about promoting. Now obviously, I don't think this should be promoted to begin with. Frankly, it's all a waste, but that doesn't make any of this less hilarious or iconic. As for Feminist America coming in with their take, it's absolutely typical, and demanding someone come out and reveal their identity is a bit hypocritical, and I think everyone knows what I mean here. Whether it's makeup or something else far more disturbing, the feminist West does everything behind a mask. For them, reality is as terrifying as anyone's worst nightmare. It's why we see these types of play pretend, collecting tax dollars, dressing up as dogs, wolves, and whatever else that provides enough concentrated cringe to kill an elephant. So, how about you lift yours first? Here, let me help you.
You stop!
There you go. Glad to help. And this brings me to the greatest irony of all. Rachel, fellow wall jumpers, you act so ridiculous that even South Park can't satirize you anymore. Your behavior is so outside what's appropriate in a civilized society that you've made yourself into a walking caricature. The stuff you say and do on the world stage is begging for criticism. And then when you have to pay up, suddenly you're a humble victim. You think everyone should just forget that you wasted people's time and money for a taste of fame. But the thing is, whether you're dancing on TikTok or on an Olympic stage, you voluntarily made yourself into a meme. A stereotypical image so prevalent that your mistake becomes a brand, one that you can't shake off just because it's not what you desired or expected. And this really goes for all of the self-proclaimed modern women at this point. You demand to be taken seriously, and then turn around and do something like this.
Sophie! Sophie, get out of the train tracks! So, how do I get her out?
Women of the Wall, it's over. The fun has ended, if there really was any fun at all, and it's time to grab that ball of yarn, sit in the rocking chair, and find a nice fat tabby to lay by your feet. It's either that or, of course, you can keep doing what you're doing. Put on the dog ears, breakdancing outfit, or apparently your daughter's clothes to dream about the past. Nobody's going to stop you because there's nobody left who cares. Just to know that we'll be here laughing and roasting from a wealth-preserving distance. And if you can't handle it, well, maybe you can get AOC's simp to make a public statement. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.